Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Koki of the Seahawk Recap Show, and welcome back to another Seahawk game recap. Week 6, Jacksonville Jaguars versus your Seattle Seahawks. And what a game yesterday in Jacksonville. Brilliant, dominant win by the Seahawks yesterday. And I'm just here to recap it, but one word to describe this game: next man up mentality. Three starters out on the defense for yesterday's game. And you know what? Dominant win. So let's get into recapping this game before I ramble on a little too much more in the intro. It was Canadian Thanksgiving, so that's why I'm recording this video on Monday morning. Jaguars versus Seahawks game recap. If you like these videos, please consider giving it a like. It lets me know if I'm doing a good job with these videos or not. And if you would like to, please subscribe to the channel as I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year. That would be greatly appreciated. The game summary: Seahawks win 20 to the Jaguars 12 on the road. Let's talk about the Jaguars for a moment because they were the home team. They had 273 total yards, 214 yards passing, 59 yards rushing, averaged 4 yards per play, had 17 first downs. They went 4 for 16 on third down, went 3 for 3 on fourth down, had 68 total plays, 7 sacks allowed, 8 punts, 10 penalties for 76 yards given up, 0 fumbles lost, and 0 interceptions thrown by Trevor Lawrence today. 33 minutes and 21 seconds of possession time. For your Seattle Seahawks, they ended the day with 346 total yards, 286 passing yards, 60 rushing yards, averaged 6.4 yards per play, 13 first downs. They went 1 for 12 on third down. That still continues to be a problem on third down for the Seahawks. They didn't go for it on fourth down. They had 64 total plays, 1 sack allowed, 7 punts, 7 penalties for 56 yards given up, 0 fumbles lost, and 0 interceptions thrown by Sam Darnold. 26 minutes and 39 seconds of possession time. This was a dominant performance by Sam Darnold. Let's get to Ryan's focus players and let's talk about the Jaguars for a minute. Trevor Lawrence, 27 for 42, 258 total passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And you know what? Trevor Lawrence is sort of an enigma when it comes to him. I think he has flashes where he does very well in games. He can really win some games. He put you on his back and be a first round talent, like he was selected to be uh, in the NFL, and he's done very well. But there are some inconsistencies to his game. Some of his passes are still inaccurate, and that's just, I think, not acceptable for a first round talented QB like Trevor Lawrence has been out of Clemson. And you know what? He did very well this game in terms of getting his team to a point where they can score some points. Um, that one touchdown to Brian Robertson off of the first quarter, it was a simple miscommunication between two Seahawks defenders, a kind of bubble screen. Everyone was going to it. And then Brian Robertson just ran up and caught the easiest touchdown of his life, thanks to Trevor Lawrence. And you know what? I think Trevor, although he has his warts in the passing game, I think he's a lot more mobile than I think I gave him credit for when watching him, because I didn't really think of Trevor Lawrence as sort of a mobile type of quarterback. And he came into this game, was using his legs a little bit more, and he was comfortable in this game despite the offensive line, his offensive line giving up 7 sacks in this game. So, good game overall from Trevor Lawrence. Just need to clean up some of the inaccurate passes that he had in this game. Let's get to running back and let's talk about Travis Etienne. 12 carries for 27 yards, averaged 2.2 yards per carry, no touchdowns. And this became a theme right off the hop for this game. The run game for both teams was non existent. So, from a Travis Etienne perspective, his stats don't look great. Neither of these running backs looked great in this one. So I think Travis Etienne has the ability to be a very good running back. I think he still has that kind of ability in him. He's 26 years old. And for a running back, that is still quite young. He's entering, you know, sort of his middle of his career. I think he is a fantastic running back. His elusiveness, his shiftiness, and his patience is something that I really admire about Travis Etienne. He just didn't have a great game on the ground because the Seahawks defense, from the pass rush perspective and the front four perspective, is just so darn good. So, all in all, his stats don't reflect how good of a running back he truly is in this game. Good game from Travis Etienne. Let's get to wide receiver and let's get to Brian Thomas Jr. Receptions, 90 yards, 11.2 yards per reception, the one touchdown in the first quarter. And it is his first touchdown of the season. Brian, this season, has had a few perplexing games where he's not as dominant of a force as he was in years past. I've heard that from Jaguars fans, and I've heard that from the national media that he's not up to snuff this year as much as you'd expect him to be. He's still an explosive wide receiver. He's from LSU, so of course he's going to be explosive. He's going to be your franchise cornerstone. Him along with Travis Hunter on the wide receiver position. That's going to be a match made in heaven for the Jacksonville Jaguars for the foreseeable future. But he is a reliable target for Trevor Lawrence. He is a number one wide receiver in this league. And that pass that he caught from Trevor Lawrence to get that touchdown, it honestly was just a testament to how good this guy is. Because again, he was using a bubble screen and he went to go block and was like, oh, we're gonna fake the bubble screen. I'm gonna just run up the field. And every single Seahawk on that field, there were three of them. It was Griffin, it was Ernest Jones, and it was somebody else that I couldn't remember. But they immediately converged on the screen and left Brian Robertson wide open for the easiest touchdown of his life, easiest touchdown of his career. And he did a lot in this game in the middle of the field, dissecting this Seahawks weakened secondary. So good game. Let's get to the Jaguars defense and let's talk about D lineman, former 49er Eric Armstead. One solo tackle, three assisted, one sack, the only sack they got in this game, and no forced fumbles. Eric Armstead, as Seahawks fans, we know him very, very well from his time on the 49ers. This guy is built different. He is very, very good. He was a fantastic 49er, and he's found a home on the Jaguars at 31, and he was putting in the work today with the rest of this Jaguars D line, stopping Kenneth Walker and the Seahawks run game. Now, the Seahawks pride themselves on a run first system with under Clint Kubiak and Mike McDonald. They want to establish the run, and they couldn't in this game, so they decided to throw it all over the yard. But I think Eric Armstead is a big component of stopping the run game. He did that in San Francisco, and he's doing that on the Jaguars, and he did that in this game today. Plus, getting the sack on Sam Darnold is always good for his stat line. So I think good game from Eric Armstead. Glad he's not in my division anymore in the NFC West, so I don't need to face him twice a year. Let's get to DB and let's get to former Cowboys corner Jordan Lewis, one solo tackle, two assisted, zero sacks, zero interceptions. But the reason I'm highlighting Jordan Lewis is because when he was in this game, his task was to shut down Cooper Kupp. And although Cooper Kupp did get a touchdown in this game on Jordan Lewis is still a pretty darn good corner. He was a Cowboys corner for a bunch of years, and he was making plays where Cooper Kupp only had two receptions for 40 yards in this game, and that's just a testament to how good of a corner Jordan Lewis can be in this league. So I think he was breaking up passes when he needed to. He got a little bit complacent on the touchdown, but he was still right there. He just missed Cooper Kupp as he went in for the touchdown. But I think overall, good game from Jordan Lewis. Let's get to linebacker Afoside Aluakon. Six solo tackles, three assisted, zero sacks, zero interceptions. And Aluakon has been a Jaguar for a very, very long time. I believe he was drafted to the Jaguars a couple of drafts ago, and he has been a force to be reckoned with at the linebacker position. One of the best tackling linebackers in the game at the interior linebacker spot, in my opinion. And he's just doing what he does best. Six solo tackles, three assisted. It's what he does. He is there to stop the run. He is there to make sure that when you catch the ball on him, if he's not there to make the tackle, somebody else will be. And he is a surefire tackler, and he did very well in this game. It's just, he stood up and tried to lead this defense to a victory. Sadly for them, they could not, but a good game from Fulukan regardless. Let's get to quarterback Sam Darnold, 16 for 27, 295 passing yards, two touchdowns, no interceptions, one to Jackson Smith-Njigba, the other to Cooper Kupp to get him his first receiving touchdown of the year. And what can I say about Sam Darnold in this game? No run game, no problem. All year I'm going to be talking about this. He is resurrecting his career. He resurrected his career with the Vikings, and he's continuing to put his name back on the map. And he is signed again to a 3-year deal with the Seahawks. I love this guy for the next 3 years. Keep it up because he's phenomenal. He's surgical. He's showing everybody now after many years why he was a first round talent, a top 3 pick by the New York Jets a couple of years ago. And he's putting in the work, almost 300 yards passing without a run game is something that you can hang your hat on if you're Sam Darnold. He is able to move. He is able to avoid pressure from this Jaguars D-line and defense, and that's something that I really admire about him because he's not a statue in the pocket. He's moving around. He's making the correct throws, and him and Jackson Smith-Njigba, he had another moon ball shot. He had one last week against the Buccaneers, and he has another one here to JSN, who beat Greg Newsome, the newest corner on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it was just the way that Sam Darnold made that pass. I think it was 61 yards or something like that. And it was insane. It was a beautiful pass right on the money, not overthrown, no panic, and just a great game from Sam Darnold. Cannot rave as much as I can about this guy. It's brilliant because I could talk about him all day. Let's talk about running back, and let's talk about Kenneth Walker. 10 carries, 34 yards, average 3.4 yards per carry, no touchdowns. And like I said, when I was talking about the Jaguars defense, the run game was non-existent for the Seahawks and neither of these two teams. And that's uncharacteristic for this Seahawks team because they want to run the ball. They want to establish the run game. They are, in my opinion, now with Glenn Kubiak at the helm, a run first team. Um, unlucky for Kenneth Walker today. He had a couple of good runs in there, but nothing to really write home about on this game. But I think he'll get his revenge on the Texans on Monday Night Football next week. I think he still had a very pivotal role in this game to help the Seahawks win. So good game from Kenneth Walker. Let's talk about wide receiver, and I'm probably going to be talking about him for the rest of the year if he keeps up this pace. Wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba, 8 receptions, 162 yards, averaged 20.2 yards per reception, the one touchdown. Now he leads the league after 6 weeks in receiving yards. I believe he's had 4 games with 100+ yards. Oh, yeah. Jackson Smith-Njigba. I thought he was going to be a slot receiver for the rest of his career and dominate from there, but he's deciding, no, I'm going to be the number one wide receiver. Cooper Kupp's going to take majority of the slot snaps, and I'm just going to be able to run on the boundary and cook everybody with my speed still. It's an amazing season, an amazing start to the season for Jackson Smith-Njigba. I hope he keeps up this pace because, again, his ability just to run, right? Like he's insane. You watch him, and he's not the biggest wide receiver. He's not a DK Metcalf where he's 6'4". So he's going to not use his body and be extremely physical, but he's going to cut you with his speed. His speed is a very good asset, and he is very good at making his wide receiver cuts. I think him and Cooper Kupp complement each other to a T because they are both excellent, excellent route runners right after the catch. And you know what? Jackson Smith-Njigba, man, he is having a better year, I think, a better start to the year than he was last year. And I can't wait to see the stats at the end of this season because he is going to be a monster. I would not be shocked at all if he passed 1,000 yards easily, easily in his sleep by the end of this season. Let's get to the Seahawks defense and let's get to D lineman Byron Murphy. 1 solo tackle, 3 assisted, 2 sacks, no forced fumbles. The nose tackle out of Texas from last year's draft. What a player. He has come in to his second year, and he is now the primary nose tackle for the Seattle Seahawks after getting a shot as a rookie. He comes in, and his technique is absolutely brilliant. You go on the road after facing the Buccaneers. You get little to no pressure against the Buccaneers. And then you come into this game and you get 7 sacks. All right, I'll take it. It's on the road in a hostile environment. Byron Murphy stepping up, first play of the game. He goes and he just sacks Trevor Lawrence, tracks him down, sacks Trevor Lawrence. And that is just amazing. He's doing what he did at Texas, which is get after the quarterback. That's why the Seahawks spent a 16th overall pick on Byron Murphy for. He is a freak of nature at the nose tackle position. Great game from him and fantastic game from the Seahawks front seven. DeMarcus Lawrence coming in for the injured Derek Hall. He had a really good game. 2 sacks for him, I believe, in this game. And Uchenna Nwosu came in, rotating in and got a sack there. And it's just amazing. I wish we could have had this pressure against the Buccaneers, but I'll take it against the Jaguars. I love how this front seven is reacting on the road. So great game from Byron Murphy. Let's talk about DB safety, the rookie Nicky Memori, 6 solo tackles, 3 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 interceptions, but with everybody seemingly injured on this team. Safety Julian Love, you've got a concussion to Reek Woolen, and you've got a knee injury to Devin Witherspoon. You're out 3 starters. Who needs to step up but the rookie from South Carolina, second round pick this year? He is amazing. He's a guy that I really love to see on the field. And he stepped up. Next man up mentality, 3 starters down, does not matter. Nicky Memori steps up with a phenomenal game. His tackling ability, his freakish athleticism is something that I really admire about him as a player, and his ability to just come in, play that three safety shell that they usually do with him in the box. He plays like a linebacker at safety. It's an amazing thing to watch from the South Carolina State product. It's mental to watch him play. He had a really good game in this one with starters down, and it's great. He helped get the win here. So good game from Nick Imamori. Let's talk about linebacker. I want to talk about a guy, Drake Thomas, interior linebacker, 2 solo tackles, 7 assisted, 1 sack, no interceptions. And Drake Thomas is the guy that I was not expecting to talk about this season as much as I have. Because from the start of the season, I thought he was going to be the third inside linebacker. I thought it was going to be Ernest Jones and Therese Knight as your 1-2 punch there. But Drake Thomas coming in, being rotated as he does on this Mike McDonald defense, and he puts on a show. He puts on a show. He gets the sack. And let me just talk about that sack for a minute, because in the second half, it was the fourth quarter, and he just goes and they run a blitz, which they don't normally do. And Drake Thomas just comes straight down from his interior middle linebacker spot and beats the crap out of Trevor Lawrence. No time for Trevor to react, and he just buries him. And this is amazing from a guy like Drake Thomas coming in from the Raiders a couple of seasons ago. There's a reason why he's still on this team, man. There's something in the water with Mike McDonald that he really likes this player. And if Drake Thomas takes over that second linebacker, middle linebacker spot alongside of Ernest Jones, I'm not complaining, because he has shown out not only today, but he's shown out throughout the season. So great game from Drake Thomas, tackling machine in this one. Amazing to see him stop the run and be able to get a sack for his troubles. Ryan's final thoughts. What went well despite the injuries today for this Seahawks defense? They only gave up 12 points, and they put on a clinic with 6 sacks in this game. It should say 7. The pass rush finally got home and was utilized on the road to beat Jacksonville. So I'm happy to see it. This is the type of Seahawks defense we expected last week at home. I don't understand how or what happens when we're at home, but I want this pass rush to be electric, and it was today, helping us get back in the win column. So it's just amazing. JSN, another pop-off performance from him. It's becoming regular at this point, and I really can't say much more about JSN, because he's just a freak. He's just a freak of nature. He's slotted into this number 1 wide receiver role for this team, and he's cooking with gas. So I love this Ohio State product. Great game from Cooper Kupp and AJ Barner as well. Cooper Kupp, secondary wide receiver, second string wide receiver, is amazing in the slot. Can't say much more about him either because from his time on the Rams, he was always a pest, and he's now on the Seahawks. He's now on the good guys' side. So I'm really happy with his performance. He got his 2 catches, and it's again a game of here. We'll give it to JSN as the first read, but if we need, we've got Cooper Kupp and we've got Torrey Horton on the other side. And AJ Barner, man, let's talk about him for a minute. He has gotten into this role where he was behind Noah Fant his first year, comes in, Noah Fant is no longer here. He becomes the de facto #1 on this team, and he is making most of this opportunity out of Michigan. He's just a freak. He is able to be now a reliable catcher for Sam Darnold in the red zone. He's able to make huge plays. His big play at the end of the game to seal this game was just, it's something where you look at it and you go, yeah, tight ends now have to do that all the time. They have to be able to catch passes. But man, you never saw this out of AJ Barner last year because he never got the opportunity, I think, in the Ryan Grubb offense to do things. Well, now he's in the Clint Kubiak style of offense where they're actually using their tight ends and their weapons. And AJ Barner has emerged as maybe, and I know this is a little bit delusional, but I'm going to say it anyway, he may be a franchise tight end for this Seahawks team. I can't wait to see what else he does this season. But like everything, what to improve on? We all knew from the jump yesterday that 3 starters were out on defense, that this secondary was going to be very exposed when it came to some of the communication, and that's what happened throughout the game. Again, I'm going to go back to it. The Brian Robertson touchdown, that just shouldn't happen. It shouldn't be where you focus on the screen and you completely lose the guy that just releases and catches one of the easiest touchdowns of his life. That shouldn't happen. That's on Griffin, that's on Ernest Jones and the rest. But despite that, I think they did well. Their zone coverage was abysmal. In certain parts of the field, there was just wide open grass, like wide open. And you can't have that. You guys are now Deion Kendrick, Josh Jobe, and Shaq Griffin as your 3 main corners. You guys have got to clean up the communication. I know it's the first game without Reek Woolen and still no Devin Witherspoon and no Julian Love. You're having to rely on Ty Okada for a lot of that and also Kobe Bryant, but you guys need the next man up mentality. You did very well against the run on the road. Just need to clean up that secondary. Try to be more cohesive with your communication so that you don't give up big chunks of yardage in the middle of your zones. That's something that I really would like to see fixed when it comes to the Texans next week on Monday Night Football at home. But overall, my final thoughts, happy with this road victory, and the Seahawks are now 4-2 on the season after 6 weeks, and they're second in the NFC West, right behind the 49ers, who are injured to Kingdom Come. With this victory, the Seahawks are now 9-1 on the road in the Mike McDonald era, and we face the Texans next week at home on Monday Night Football. Hopefully we can get on a win streak. Hopefully we can get back on a win streak and let it form and then take our bye in week 8 and then continue on in week 9 and continue winning and continue rolling. That would be just amazing to see. I want to see us continue this, and I want to see us make sure that the winning ways don't just happen on the road. Because remember, the pass rush was non-existent at home against the Buccaneers. That can't happen. You guys have put up 7 sacks in this game alone on the road. I know you guys can do it. I know the secondary is banged up, but that does not affect the pass rush. I know Derek Hall is no longer there right now, but DeMarcus Lawrence put up a fantastic performance. Chano Wosu put up a fantastic performance. I'm looking at you guys to put pressure, to help out this secondary. Well, Devin Witherspoon and Reek Warner out. So let's get back on home turf at Lumen Field next week and beat the Texans. I want to see that happen. But for the Jacksonville Jaguars, you guys played a decent game. Your O-line is what let you down in this game. So much pressure, like an immense amount of pressure. And I think it was 12 quarterback hits. So 7 sacks, 12 quarterbacks hits. And you know what? You guys are 4-2 for a reason. You guys are in your division in the AFC South. I think with you guys, there's a lot you can be proud of through the first 6 weeks. But I kind of want to see you guys succeed. I want to see you guys come into the AFC and prove that you can still be contenders in this league. And your 4-2 record throughout this 6 weeks has shown that. So there's a reason why you lost this game today, and that's because of your O-line. That's because of Trevor Lawrence getting a lot more pressure in his face than you probably want from a Liam Cohen kind of team. But I think you guys will bounce back in week 7. You guys are always fun to play against. That is it for this Seahawk game recap of week 6. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How did you feel about this road victory? 9-1 on the road Warriors in this Mike McDonald era. I'd like to know your thoughts. Anyways, take care of yourselves. Go Hawks, go. And I'll see you on Monday Night Football as the Seahawks take on the Texans at home in Lumen Field. Take care of yourself.